Hello and welcome to another episode of Dashboard Dialogues. As usual, I'm your host, Sam Flecker. Today I'm joined by Jake Silveira, our consulting team lead and all-around automotive wizard. How you doing today, Jake?
I'm doing well, Sam. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
So Jake is basically known as the guy who could get it done here in the Dealerslink office. Whether you're a client or a employee or anything in between, he's the man to ask. He'll get you your answer quick or just a quick fix to anything that you've got going on. I also like Jake a lot because we call him the Burrito King. He is the man who brings us breakfast burritos every Wednesday. So I'm very fond of Jake as well. Today we're going to be talking about vendor relations and how Dealerslink operates in relations to its competitors. Jake and his team serve as the main point of contact for our clients and vendors. So he's a great person to kind of discuss how Dealerslink interacts in the environment around it. Ready to go?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Awesome. Yeah. Well, first things first, will you tell us about your first car?
Yeah. I had a 2000 Acura Integra Type R, bone stock. Yeah, everybody wanted to race me in town. We definitely had a group of guys that really loved their Hondas. Yeah. And they souped them up. They put turbos. I had a buddy that I used to hang out with. He put a semi turbo on his little Honda Civic hatchback. Wow. That thing was probably pushing, 550 horsepower.
Wow.
So
okay. Not messing around.
No messing around. I definitely did not have a car that fast. Then I ultimately crashed that thing and totaled it. So,
well, that's one way to do it.
You're not having fun unless you're creating a little damage, right?
Yeah, that's words to live by right there. All right, so let's start off. Let's just quickly define what a vendor is in your mind. Typical definition and its value to a dealership.
Yeah. So a vendor is basically a company that is going to provide a good or a service to another company. And in the dealership world, what we're looking at is vendors of all different types. The importance of these vendors to dealerships is that, really, it's based upon the value and the need that the dealership has.
Yeah.
That's what I would say as far as what a vendor actually is.
Okay, along those lines, what are some of the most common vendors that a typical dealership utilizes?
Yeah, so we've got DMS systems, dealer management systems, inventory management systems, CRMs, websites, lead generation services. Yeah. Those are the main characters when we talk about different vendors in the automotive space for the most part.
Cool. So do you mind telling us a bit about your role at Dealerslink and how you interact with some of our vendors, how Dealerslink interacts with some of our vendors?
Yeah. So I'm the consulting team lead. My job primarily surrounds taking care of the customers, making sure that the team members in the HQ office and our outside reps are getting the support that they need so that they can support the greater dealer community that we have, our clients. And really when it comes down to taking support phone calls, answering the questions for these dealers. First call resolution is a big thing that we'll talk about, I'm sure, in a little while.
Yeah, sure.
My job, my primary function is to make sure that our consulting team and our support team is running as well as we possibly can.
Cool. So a lot of phone calls, I imagine.
A lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, text messages. I think I was looking at my cell phone plan and I've got over 2,500 text messages sent this month. And I'm not that popular of a guy, so
I think I'm pretty popular, but I don't get anyone close to that. So, jeez. Anyways, okay. So when a dealership is choosing a vendor, what are some of the most important things that it should kind of look for, kind of keep in mind when it's choosing a vendor?
I think cost to value ratio is probably the biggest.
Yeah.
If I was running a dealership and I was looking at my choices for vendors, cost to value ratio is going to be one of the most important ones on my list. There's a lot of different vendors out there. A lot of them are doing the exact same thing that others are doing. Some of them do it a little better. Some of them do it a little different. Ultimately, though, it comes down to what are you getting out of that service? What we see most often now is that dealerships are using far less than they are paying for when it comes to their vendor services.
Yeah.
And that could be their inventory management system, their appraisal service, or even their websites. So cost to value ratio, they're paying a lot of money, sometimes an absolute premium. Some vendors ask all the money, all the tea in China in the cart that it came in on, right?
Good way to put it.
Yeah, they're using 30% or less in most cases
Yeah.
of their vendor services.
So you want to just get the most bang for your buck, pretty much.
100%.
So, yeah.
And obviously, you want quality there too.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
The main thing though is does that value actually equate to the cost, and are you getting the quality out of it and all of that stuff? So yeah.
Good thing to keep in mind for sure.
Absolutely.
So how does Dealerslink stand out as a kind of premier vendor? Because, we are a vendor in every sense of the word for our clients. How would you say Dealerslink stands out in the automotive space as a vendor compared to its competitors, other vendors?
Yeah. One of the things that we pride ourselves the most on, especially downstairs on the consulting team and the support team, is that we still answer our phone when our clients call.
Yeah.
More often, we're talking with dealers that are dealing with all kinds of vendors. They're dealing with CRMs and websites and lead gen services. Their biggest complaint is they have to wait 2, 3, 4 days sometimes for a phone call back or a resolution to the issue. What we pride ourselves on is first call resolution. So we do a lot of training towards that. A lot of support issues are recurring and some of them are not. We have an incredible team of support guys that pretty much have the answer for a lot of the issues that do happen to come up.
Yeah.
First call resolution, we answer our phone calls. And I think one of the biggest things these days is that vendors tend to like to point the finger at other vendors. Oh, well, that's not our problem. That's somebody else's problem. You need to call them. We've historically always taken the approach of, okay, this doesn't seem to be an issue with us, but let's go ahead and call your other vendor. Let's call up your website and see what's going on there. And if we can get it fixed for you, we will. Or let's call up your DMS and see if we can get some inventory that may be stuck or it's not coming over to us correctly. Instead of telling the dealer, yeah, that's not our problem, you have to go through the steps yourself and the channels. We really take the initiative there. And I think that really sets us apart from the majority of vendors out there.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And I think that all kind of circles back to the fact that we are a company that's, we're not just some kind of people we outsourced in different departments and everything, and tech and call center. We're all car dealers. We were all car dealers, and we know what it's like, and we want to get something done and get it done right. And everyone here has worked in a dealership or is a car dealer, so we know what the car dealers are going through. And
absolutely,
I think it's such a cool part of this company. So.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, cool. So let's see my next question. How does Dealerslink continue to refine its processes every year, every quarter, and sharpen its skills to continue having the reputation as being the best of the best, the premier, automotive vendor?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that we do is on the leadership team of this side is we sit down on a weekly basis, myself and Devin, our VP of Dealer Services. And one of the things that we're doing there is we are focusing on how do we best support our clients, what is working and what's not. And that's on a weekly basis. Sometimes, it might be a quarterly thing where we're actually reviewing exactly what did work and what did not work. And then we kind of scratch some things off the table. We just recently inked a partnership with Zendesk, which is going to bring a huge amount of efficiency to the support ticket issues that dealers are submitting. Things that sometimes would fall between the cracks if given the opportunity. That's going to be less and less. And so we're always looking at how do we create this efficiency at the same time of maintain the quality of support that we're actually offering our dealers.
It's a great way of putting it. So.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, I'm super excited for that partnership, and it's gonna take things to the next level.
Definitely.
Automotive is so innovative. Always got to more so than other industries, you always got to be, something's always changing every year, new technology. I mean, we just saw that color changing car, which is pretty crazy.
That BMW is pretty awesome, I'll tell you that.
We'll see if that takes off. I think I'm fine with the color red for my car now, but
hey, just in case you're not, you can change it with your phone.
Yeah, exactly. So Cool. All right. So I'm sure a lot of car dealers know there's a lot of kind of big corporations out there that kind of take up a lot of the market share for, vendors, regardless of what kind of sector they're in. But, Dealerslink is more of a kind of smaller, more nimble company, as we like to phrase it as, quality, not quantity. How do you think that aspect of our company plays to our advantage as opposed to being some big kind of corporation?
Yeah, I think being small and nimble is one of the things that we do best. When it comes to being able to answer the phone calls and being able to tend to issues with a lot more attention to the individual issue.
Yeah.
It definitely helps. I think our dealers see that as a whole. And the biggest thing, these large corporations, they're going to have thousands upon thousands of support tickets, and they're going to have integration issues, and they're going to have other things that are going on that ultimately will increase the times you're going to wait for resolution. And make no mistake, we are definitely a busy company. We've got dedicated support guys that are handling thousands upon thousands of requests every month and every quarter.
Yeah.
We have found a way to increase our productivity in that area to where we can actually reduce our time to completion on those tickets to 1 to maybe 2 days at most. Through that 1 to 2 days, there is constant communication from our support guys and our dealer consultants and performance managers. They are always actively looking at the trouble tickets and the work orders that are coming through. And they are usually the ones on the front lines contacting the dealers, getting the information that they need so that we can get a quicker resolution. A lot of times what we see in other scenarios is, okay, the trouble ticket was created and it's been assigned to the correct team, whether that's the inventory team or it's the other whiz-bang team that this corporation has decided to come up with. And we have, again, pioneered this method of really focusing on what the issue is and targeting the quickest route to resolution.
Yeah. So we're very specialized. Every department is best of the best. So
very much.
That's very cool.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time on this Friday. So do you mind what are you looking forward to most in 2022?
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to what I think everybody in the auto industry is looking forward to at this point in time is a little bit easier times when it comes to inventory. The chip shortages, it's like this ebb and flow of, hey, we're probably looking at another 12 to 18 months. And then the next week you're looking at a story that says, well, things could get better than sooner than later.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to figuring out exactly how the dealership, the brick and mortar location is going to look as far as their lot space. Are they going to be packed full? Are they still going to be running skim? And then direct to consumer model. I would like to see, I know GM just recently put out a direct to consumer website. So consumers are actually able to go and order a vehicle directly from GM, much like they do with Tesla.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see exactly how that plays out and if it trickles down into some of the other manufacturers.
Yeah,
I know Ford has kicked around the idea as well.
Yeah. It's an exciting time, man. Very exciting time. And it's going to be crazy to see how the year progresses.
Absolutely.
So awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Jake. Perfect. Burrito King.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'll make sure to have your burrito extra hot next Wednesday.
Easy. All right. Well, cool. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Dashboard Dialogues. We'll be back soon with another episode. If you want to watch all of our past episodes, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundClouds, and now Google Play as of this week. So cool. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.